Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. Double honors to the the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of 2 Samuel, the 16th chapter. And basically, as we went through in the 15th chapter, David, right, and his household had to flee from Jerusalem, having Absalom, his son, basically usurping the throne, and coming after him, right? And so we see here David has fled, but not without not without plan, as he sends back Zadok and Abiathar, the priests, along with Hushai, his friend, to basically be his eyes and ears from within, and keep him updated on what's going on. So this is 2 Samuel 16:1. And when David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, met him. And we read about this Ziba before. I believe he was the servant that they called for when David wanted to know if there were any descendants of Saul or Jonathan, that he may do them good. That was him. So he's now a servant of Mephibosheth, and he was told to watch over the land and so on and so forth for his master. So he comes to meet David with a couple of asses saddled, and upon them 200 loaves of bread, and 100 bunches of raisins, and 100 of summer fruits, and a bottle of wine. And the king said unto Ziba, What meanest thou by these? So what's all this? And Ziba said, The asses be for the king's household to ride on, and the bread and the summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine that such as be faint in the wilderness may drink. And the king said, And where is thy master's son? i.e., where is Mephibosheth? And Ziba said unto the king, Behold, he abideth at Jerusalem. For he said, Today shall be the house, or today shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. So Ziba tells David that the reason Mephibosheth did not come to flee with him was because he wanted to take this as an opportunity to now take back the kingdom, or to get the kingdom back to him, i.e., the house of Saul. That's what Ziba tells David. Then said the king to Ziba, Behold, thine are all that pertained unto Mephibosheth. So now I'm giving you basically everything that Mephibosheth had, right? That land and so on and so forth. You can have it. And Ziba said, I humbly beseech thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, my lord, O king. What a cunning man he was, huh? And when King David came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera. He came forth and cursed still as he came. And he cast stones at David and at all the servants of King David, and all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left, meaning those that were guarding and around David. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. So get out of here, you murderer, you scoundrel, you lowlife. The Lord Yahweh hath returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. So this Lord is paying you back for all that bloodshed. And the Lord hath, so he clearly was salty. He was salty. And the Lord hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. So this is what you get. That's your recompense, you murderer. From the words of Shimei, that is. Then said Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, unto the king, Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head. So just give me the command. I'm gonna off his head, quick. And the king said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse. because the Lord hath said unto him, curse David. And the what have I to do with you is like a saying, which equates to, you know, almost like telling Abishai here to hold his peace, because that's not what David is trying to hear right now. I.e., we don't share the same mind. Okay, like we don't move the same. And you suggesting this is not what I'm trying to hear right now. That's like the equivalent sentiment of that saying when David used it. Who then, or who shall then say, wherefore hast thou done so? So the Lord put the spirit on him to do so, right? So who can tell him or stop him, right? Or say, well, why is he doing that? It's the Lord that's making him do it. And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, behold, my son, which came forth out of my bowels, seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Meaning, even my own son, right, that came out of my loins is seeking my life, how much more for this Benjamite who basically was a supporter of Saul? Wouldn't he seek my life that much more? Let him alone and let him curse, for the Lord Yahweh hath bidden him. So just leave him. It may be that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and that the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day. So perhaps the Lord will see this and repay me good for this cursing that this Benjamite has brought upon me today. And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along on the hillside over against him, and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him, and cast dust. So he was really trying to reproach David. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. And Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. And it came to pass, when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, that Hushai said unto Absalom, God save the king, God save the king, which is another way of saying, like, long live the king. And Absalom said unto Hushai, is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? Meaning, is this how you repay David? Isn't he supposed to be your friend? Why didn't you go with him? And Hushai said unto Absalom, nay, but whom the Lord Yahweh and his people and all the men of Israel choose, his will I be, and with him will I abide. So I'm with the Lord, and whoever, the wherever the people of the Lord are, that's where I'm going to be, and that's where I'm going to serve. And again, whom should I serve? Should I not serve in the presence of his son? As I have served in thy father's presence, so will I be in thy presence. So isn't it only right that I serve his son, considering I served him, your father? Then said Absalom to Ahithophel, give counsel among you what we shall do. And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, go in unto thy father's concubines, which he hath kept or left to keep the house. And all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hand of all that are with thee be strong. So the counsel that Ahithophel is given here is, by you sleeping with your father's concubine, and everybody hearing about that, they'll see that that's basically like a line that you can't go back from, right? Now you're pretty much it's impossible to be reconciled back to your father. And what that would do is it'll strengthen your supporters, because they'll know that no matter what, you're going to stand 10 toes on being against David. And so basically, like, they made the right, in their minds, they made the right choice in standing with you. And so that was the counsel he gave Absalom. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the house, the top of the house, and Absalom went in unto his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. So they basically put a tent. Now, obviously, it was public in the sense that everybody would know what was going on in the tent up there, but not public in the sense that you could see them actually, them uncovered in there. They were inside of a tent. but still wickedness. And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of God. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom. So he was basically he was good at his job, right? So much so that it's like all his counsel was usually on point for whatever it is to achieve. Now keep in mind that the counsel here doesn't necessarily mean that it's a righteous thing, but it is accurate in the sense that if a king, if his king said, "Hey, I want to do this," or "This is the matter, what should we do?" the advice he would give was usually on point in that it would accomplish whatever it is that the king wanted. And that brings us to the end of 2 Samuel, the 16th chapter. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.